Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Speak Smart podcast. We always like to do these deep dives.
Yeah.
These deep dives into some fascinating material, where we take a subject
Absolutely.
and we really just pull out the core of it.
I love that. Deep dives.
And this one is this one's going to be especially, I think, relevant and valuable for you.
I think so too.
We are looking at excerpts
Okay.
from a powerful piece of writing that details lessons learned
Interesting.
during the crucible of military SEAL training.
Wow.
Okay, so
Intense.
I know some of you are out there thinking, SEAL training?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with me?
Right.
I'm not a Navy SEAL.
Exactly.
But the thing that's so compelling about this material is how it's presented.
Okay.
It's presented with the idea that these intensely challenging experiences reveal some universal principles
Yes.
for navigating any of life's hurdles.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so fascinating here is that, it's not just the extreme context, but it's really how the author pulls out these like fundamental truths about resilience and discipline and teamwork.
Yes.
That you realize, wow, that resonates regardless of your background
Yes.
or what you do.
Yeah.
And it makes you consider, what are those core elements that contribute to success in any field?
It does. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack 10 of these key lessons.
I'm ready.
Okay. So we're gonna explore what makes them so potent. How, according to the author, how they can offer genuine guidance for tackling your personal challenges.
Right.
And even fostering a more positive impact on the world around you.
I love that.
So these lessons cover a spectrum.
Okay.
From seemingly simple daily habits that might surprise you with their impact to really profound perspectives on facing adversity.
Right.
And bouncing back stronger.
Yeah.
Our aim is that you, our listener,
will find something truly valuable and applicable.
Yes.
No matter where you are in life right now.
Wonderful.
Or what's currently on your mind.
And it's worth underscoring, too, that the author specifically presents these as being universally accessible.
Right.
So it's not confined by gender or ethnicity or any specific walk of life. The idea is that the fundamental human experience of facing challenges and striving for something better creates that common ground where these principles can take root.
All right. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
The first lesson is make your bed.
Make your bed. Okay.
Now, that might sound
interesting,
almost laughably simple, right? Okay, I get it, make my bed.
Right.
But in the context of SEAL training, this was treated with military precision.
I see.
Okay, so we're talking perfectly square corners on the sheets.
Yeah.
Blankets pulled taut enough to bounce a quarter.
Pillows centered just so.
Okay.
An extra blanket folded with exacting standards.
Oh my goodness.
At the foot of the bed.
So specific.
And it might seem like such a trivial detail in the grand scheme of becoming an elite warrior.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the author dedicates significant attention to the underlying wisdom here.
Okay.
And you know what's interesting about this to me is it's the psychological weight of this.
Okay.
Seemingly mundane task, right?
Right.
The author argues that by completing this very first task of the day, you immediately establish a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's a small victory, yes.
Right.
But that initial feeling of having successfully executed something, however minor it may seem, creates a positive momentum.
I see.
It nudges you to tackle the next task and then the next one like that. And the next one.
Yeah.
It's like setting off a chain reaction of productivity and positivity.
Oh, wow.
Right from the start.
Think of it as like a micro win that primes you for more wins throughout the day.
Exactly. That momentum. Right. It's the idea that mastering the small things builds your capacity.
Right.
And your confidence for tackling larger challenges.
Yes.
And the author even says, if you can't get this basic task right.
Oh, wow.
What hope do you have for the more complex demands ahead?
Right.
So it really speaks to this foundational importance of discipline and attention to detail in everything that you do.
And if we connect that to kind of a broader principle, it also touches on the power of habit formation.
Okay.
So by starting your day with a consistent positive action, like making your bed, it reinforces that sense of order and control.
Okay.
Right. And the source also offers a comforting perspective on this.
Okay.
Even on those days when everything seems to go wrong,
you
get to return home to a bed that's neatly made. And it's like a small sanctuary of order that you created.
I like that. Yeah.
And that could be a surprisingly powerful source of comfort.
Yeah.
And a subtle reminder that even amidst chaos, you achieved at least one thing that day, offering that glimmer of hope for a fresh start tomorrow.
So for you, our listener, consider this. How am I intentionally starting your day?
Okay.
With a small act of accomplishment, like making your bed with care. How might that influence the trajectory of your entire day?
Right.
It's a simple shift.
Absolutely.
But the author suggests the cumulative effect can be quite profound.
I love that.
Okay, so we move on to lesson number 2.
I'm ready.
Find someone to help you paddle.
Find someone to help you paddle. Okay.
All right, so this transitions from the individual to the vital role of teamwork.
Okay.
And the source vividly describes the boat crews in SEAL training.
All right.
7 individuals working in close quarters in this small inflatable boat.
Okay.
3 paddlers on each side.
Right.
With 1 coxswain steering.
Okay.
And calling out commands.
Got it.
And they face grueling conditions.
All right.
Navigating rough surf. Paddling for miles.
Yeah.
Often under immense pressure.
Wow.
And what the author really emphasizes is this absolute necessity of synchronized effort.
Okay.
It's not enough for just a few people to be working hard if even one person isn't fully engaged. If their paddling isn't in rhythm with the rest of the crew and the coxswain's commands, the boat becomes unstable, loses momentum, and can even capsize.
Wow.
Leading to everyone being unceremoniously dumped back into the surf.
I can imagine.
There's no room for passengers. Or half-hearted effort.
Yeah.
Everyone has to dig in.
That's a really powerful picture of interdependence.
It is. It is.
Right.
And, and the lesson is so clear here.
Yeah. And it extends far beyond, a rubber boat.
Absolutely.
You cannot navigate the complexities of the world and achieve significant goals. Entirely on your own.
You can't do it alone.
You need a support system.
Yeah.
People who are rowing alongside you.
Absolutely.
This could be your friends.
Yeah.
Your family, your colleagues, mentors. Even unexpected allies that come into your life.
Right.
And that coxswain represents that crucial element of guidance. That leadership.
Yeah.
That helps to keep you focused. And on course.
Right.
Especially when the waters get rough.
When the waters get rough. Exactly.
It makes you think about your own life, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Who are the people helping you paddle?
Yeah.
Who are those individuals, those teams, those mentors who provide support, guidance, shared effort?
Absolutely.
In your own endeavors.
And it underscores that fundamental human need for connection.
Does. And the power of collaboration in achieving anything worthwhile.
Yes, it does. Okay, so that brings us to lesson number 3.
All right.
Measure a person by the size of their heart.
Measure a person by the size of their heart.
Now this one,
I
found particularly inspiring.
Oh, good.
And the author tells a story about a particular boat crew.
Okay.
That was known as the Munchkin Crew.
The Munchkin Crew.
This was a team comprised of smaller individuals.
Okay.
None taller than 5'5".
All right.
And representing a really remarkably diverse range of backgrounds.
Okay, so.
We're talking Native American.
Okay.
African American, Polish American, Greek American, Italian American.
Wow, very diverse.
And 2 from the Midwest.
Okay.
Now, if you were to judge them based on physical stature alone, you might not have predicted their success.
Right.
Especially when compared to the crews that were filled with these.
Yeah.
Larger, seemingly more physically imposing trainees. But the narrative takes a fantastic and uplifting turn.
Okay.
The Munchkin Crew consistently outperformed their larger counterparts. They out-paddled them.
Okay.
They outran them.
Yeah.
And they even outswam them.
Oh, my goodness.
While good-naturedly enduring jokes about their tiny little flippers.
I love that.
So what's so significant about this,
to
me, is how it highlights SEAL training as a true great equalizer.
I see.
The author makes it clear that ultimately their success wasn't determined by their physical attributes, their racial or ethnic background, their socioeconomic status, or where they came from. It was their inner drive.
Got it.
It was their unwavering will to succeed.
Okay.
It was the strength of their character.
I see.
That propelled them to the top.
And that's the core message.
It is.
Right. It's that.
Yeah.
The true measure of a person lies in their character, in the size of their heart.
Yes.
Their courage, their resilience, their determination, their integrity.
Yes.
And not in these superficial qualities like appearance.
Exactly.
Or background.
It's a powerful reminder to look beyond.
Yes.
So surface level judgments.
Wow.
And to recognize the inherent strength and potential that resides within everyone.
I love that.
So for you, our listener, can you recall instances when someone's inner strength, their character, profoundly surprised you?
Right.
Perhaps even defied your initial assumptions based on how they appeared or where they came from?
Absolutely. That's such a good point.
Okay, so lesson number 4.
All right, what do we got?
Shifts our focus to the inevitability of setbacks.
Setbacks, all right.
This one's called Get Over Being a Sugar Cookie.
Get over being a sugar cookie.
Now, sugar cookie is a this is specific and rather unpleasant term within SEAL training. And it refers to the outcome of the rigorous uniform inspection process.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so incredibly high standards. We're talking hats perfectly starched, uniforms immaculately pressed.
Right.
Every single detail is scrutinized.
Wow, intense.
And here's the often frustrating reality.
Yeah.
No matter how much effort
the
trainees poured into these inspections, it often felt like it was never quite good enough.
Oh, wow.
The instructors seemed to have this uncanny ability to always find something amiss. And the consequence for failing, this meticulous inspection, was quite memorable. You were ordered to run fully clothed into the ocean surf, get completely soaked, and then roll around on the sandy beach.
Wow.
Until you were entirely coated in sand.
Oh, my goodness.
Hence the term sugar cookie.
Right, I see.
Wet, sandy, and thoroughly uncomfortable for the rest of the day.
I can only imagine.
Imagine the sheer discomfort and demoralization of that. Spending the entire day feeling cold, wet, and covered in sand.
Oh, it's
all because of a seemingly minor uniform infraction.
Right.
And the author emphasizes that some trainees struggled immensely with this feeling. That their best efforts were never truly appreciated.
Right.
That no matter how hard they tried, it wasn't enough.
I see.
And those individuals, the source suggests, often didn't have the mental fortitude to persevere through the entirety of the training.
Right.
What's so insightful about this rather unusual punishment is the underlying lesson it imparts. Right? Sometimes, despite your absolute best efforts, your most meticulous preparation, you will still encounter failure or face setbacks that feel unfair and beyond your control. The instructors weren't necessarily aiming for unattainable perfection in the uniforms. They were cultivating a different kind of resilience. The ability to accept imperfection, to get over being a sugar cookie, and to maintain your forward momentum despite those inevitable and often frustrating setbacks.
It's such a relevant analogy for life, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, how often do we invest our best efforts into a project, into a relationship, into a goal only to face disappointment or circumstances that feel entirely unjust?
Absolutely.
And I think the crucial takeaway here is the importance of not dwelling on that feeling of frustration or unfairness, but rather to learn to dust ourselves off.
Exactly.
Metaphorically speaking. To accept that sugar cookie moment and keep moving towards our objectives. So for you, our listener, how can you apply this principle of accepting imperfection and moving forward when your best efforts haven't yielded the results that you had hoped for?
Absolutely. A good question to ask ourselves.
Okay, so lesson number 5.
All right, let's hear it.
Tackles another demanding aspect of the training. Don't be afraid of the circuses.
Don't be afraid of the circuses.
Okay, now in the context of SEAL training, a circus was far from a fun-filled event.
Right.
It was the consequence of failing to meet the required standards.
Oh, I see.
In those daily physical challenges. Okay, so we're talking those long runs, the grueling swims, the demanding obstacle courses. The seemingly endless hours of calisthenics. If you didn't measure up to the required benchmarks, your name went on this dreaded list.
A dreaded list, wow.
And at the end of an already exhausting day, you were invited to 2 solid hours of extra calisthenics.
Oh, my goodness.
Specifically designed to push you to your absolute breaking point.
I can't even imagine.
So a circus was definitely something that every trainee tried to avoid.
Right.
It signified that you hadn't performed adequately that day.
Okay.
It meant enduring even more physical fatigue, which in turn made the following day's challenges even more daunting.
Right.
Thus increasing the likelihood of landing yourself back on that dreaded circus list.
A vicious cycle.
It sounds like a truly vicious cycle.
It does.
Designed to test your limits.
Right.
But here's where the lesson takes an unexpected and quite empowering turn.
Right.
The author observed this.
Yeah.
Fascinating phenomenon among us.
Yeah.
Who consistently found their names on that circus list. And it was that over time. These individuals who were enduring those extra 2 hours of intense physical exertion actually became demonstrably stronger.
Really?
And more resilient, both physically and perhaps even more importantly, mentally.
I see. So
The repeated exposure, that intense discomfort, the pain of the circuses, as the author describes it, ultimately forged this inner strength they might not have otherwise developed.
Interesting. So,
and it's that classic concept, right?
Right.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
Amplified in this extreme environment.
Right.
But the analogy to life's broader challenges is undeniable.
Absolutely.
Right. Life inevitably throws its own circuses at us. Failures, painful experiences, unexpected setbacks, seemingly insurmountable obstacles.
Right.
And our initial instinct is often to fear and avoid those circuses at all costs.
Of course,
But the core of this lesson is about reframing that perspective.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't instinctively shy away from challenges and potential failures. Embrace that struggle because it is often in those difficult experiences that we cultivate the inner strength and resilience that's necessary to overcome future hurdles.
I like that.
So think about those challenges in your own life. That at the time felt like a punishment or a major setback.
Right.
But in retrospect, you can see how they contributed to your growth. And made you a stronger person.
That's a good point.
Okay, lesson number 6.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to slide down the obstacles head first.
Slide down the obstacles head first. Interesting.
So the author paints a vivid picture of this formidable obstacle course.
Okay.
Detailing some of its most challenging elements. We're talking the daunting 10-foot wall, the precarious cargo net climb, and the grueling barbed wire crawl.
Wow, that sounds intense.
But the specific focus here is on an element called the slide for life.
Slide for life.
This was a rope stretching between a 3-tiered tower and a lower single-level tower, spanning a distance of about 200 feet.
200 feet.
Wow. But in the prescribed method was to swing underneath the rope, hook your legs around it, and then laboriously pull yourself along, hand over hand. And that could take several tiring minutes.
I bet.
But then this is where the story takes a really inspiring and record-breaking turn. One particular student dared to try a league, completely unconventional and seemingly reckless approach instead of adhering to the traditional method. He bravely climbed to the top of the rope, positioned himself facing downhill.
Oh, wow.
And essentially slid down headfirst.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, that was an incredibly risky maneuver.
It sounds like it,
One that could have resulted in serious injury and immediate dismissal from this rigorous training program. But the gamble paid off in spectacular fashion. This student, through his audacious and unorthodox approach, slid down that rope with astonishing speed.
Wow.
Cut the previous record time in half, and ultimately shattered the long-standing record for the entire obstacle course.
Wow.
It was a powerful demonstration of how thinking outside the box and being willing to take calculated risks can lead to truly breakthrough results.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And I think the lesson here is so valuable. Sometimes to achieve truly significant progress, to overcome those seemingly insurmountable limitations, you need to be willing to step outside that conventional wisdom.
I see.
embrace risk, and explore unconventional methods. You can't always rely on the tried and true approaches.
Right, you have to.
You have to cultivate a mindset that is open to different perspectives.
Yeah.
And even seemingly foolish ideas.
I see.
Because those are often the ones that lead to the most remarkable breakthroughs.
Interesting.
So consider for yourself, our listener, are there areas in your life, either personal or professional, where a different, perhaps even riskier approach might be worth exploring?
A good question to consider.
Okay, so lesson number 7.
What is it?
Plunges us into a more primal fear.
So
Don't back down from the shark.
Strap back down from the sharks.
Okay, now this directly references the night swim portion of the land warfare training conducted off the coast of San Clemente Island, which is a location well known for its significant population of great white sharks.
Oh, great whites. I mean, just the thought of swimming in the dark in those waters.
It's terrifying. I mean, it just sends a shiver down your spine.
It does. Yeah.
And the instructors.
Yeah.
In their own